Hello, it's me Kaffah. Welcome back to Kaffah Podcast Corner. And in this podcast, we're gonna talk about gender issues. Well, ladies and gentlemen, gender is a current issue that everywhere we can face it, right? We can hear about gender equality, gender or equity gender, or we may hear about sexual harassment and etc. As a student, as a teacher, as the one who live in the education field, we know that gender is an important thing that must be established in education. And as a soon-to-be teacher, I must be prepared. We have to be prepared to face it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we'll discuss what gender equality is, how it differs from gender equality, and why both gender equality and equality need to have a place in our curriculum. And then, let's learn how to make our classroom safe and welcoming for all students. Let's get started. Guys, let's talk about gender equality and equity definition. Well, let's start from gender itself. Gender is here defined as a student's social identity as male, female, or non-binary. While gender equality involves empowering all students and providing them with the same human rights. And how is gender equality different from gender equity? Gender equity refers to promoting fairness in education, as well as confronting stereotypes and biases that have historically limited a student's potential. For the next, let's talk about the importance of gender equity and equality in the classroom. Guys, why confront gender bias in the classroom as early as possible? A survey involving over 2,000 children aged 4 to 16 found that from an early age, children make assumptions that confirm gender stereotypes. Children learn how to think about themselves and others from the message they hear in society. And often, this message includes stereotypes about gender that stick with them for the rest of their lives. We can make a difference for younger students by teaching them to find the strengths in their gender identity and to treat kindly those with different identities that they are around. Finally, here are 4 ways to promote gender equity and equality in education. Firstly, be a role model for your students. Students, especially younger children, often learn by imitation. In relevant situations, empower your students to believe in their potential to achieve their dreams regardless of their gender identity, and that their gender is a strength, never a weakness. Secondly, don't connect gender to an ability or personality trait. Sometimes our language can reinforce assumptions about gender. Be aware of the language you use in a class and avoid making assumptions about anyone's ability, professions, or personality based on their gender. And then the third one is include gender equality in our curriculum. Many textbooks are problematic when it comes to gender. Often they don't include many notable female figures, tokenize the experiences of women, and stereotype gender roles in harmful ways. If you're able to pick the textbook you use, try to find one that is known for its equitable treatment of gender. And then the last one, teach students to be aware of personal biases. Tell your students that many people hold these biases and it doesn't mean they are bad people. The important thing is for students to acknowledge their own assumptions. Once they do, they can challenge them to actively change those assumptions, to recognize that a person's abilities are not linked to their gender. So, ladies and gentlemen, Let's establish this gender equality and equity at our curriculum to be a better future. That's all from me. See you.